Hey guys, Mr. Happy here, and welcome back to my Final Fantasy XIV Let's Play series. I said in the last part we were either going to be doing a Halatali or we were going to be doing Ifrit. Well, I just unlocked Halatali. I really want to do it while I'm still level 20 and see if I can get some gear upgrades. So, that is the dungeon that we are going to be doing today. Now, this is going to be very similar to the Healing Your First Dungeon video that I did. Really just going to be going over, seeing if there's any other little tips or tricks that I missed, I guess, sort of, and going through just another dungeon. As the levels get higher, you'll start to see the dynamic change a little bit when it comes to dungeons. Now, the only thing is, I was wondering if we were going to get any super high-level people in here, and it doesn't look like we did. It looks like we got a summoner, which that player's at least level 30, but other than that, we have a level 21. I'm level 20, which is the lowest of everybody in the dungeon. And then we have the level 23. He's level capped, so he's probably he's at least level 24. So so first, I'm gonna do what I did in the first one. I'm gonna gauge how much damage our tank takes. So, looking at his start, he's doing good. He's doing a lot of the things that I spoke about in my tanking video, and he's actually getting a lot of really lucky dodges here. He's dodging a lot, which is gonna make it looks like this is the kind of tank where I feel like I can safely DPS while healing at the same time. This feels like the kind of tank where I can do those kind of things. And I'm glad. You can see how much I heal for. Like, I cast maybe 1 or 2 heals per fight and we're good. So Halatali is an optional dungeon that you can do when you're leveling up. As you saw in the last part of the video, in the last video before this, I unlocked it in Vesper Bay after being level 20. You're going to have to go there at some point. But this is a dungeon where I've seen a lot of new players kind of conflict with experienced players who come in here via the low-level duty roulette. And that's because there's a lot of enemies, as you can see over that way, that you'll probably just honestly end up skipping. I know it's a lot of experience points missed, but I'd say just don't worry about it too much. If you're somebody who really wants all the extra kills, I'd say make that known to your group. Tell them, hey, do you mind if we kill all these extra enemies? And if they don't reply, I'd rather just get the dungeon done, but that's me. I know new players really like seeing the whole dungeon, getting all the treasure chests, all that stuff. So he's got 4 enemies on him now, so I'm gonna start healing him a little bit more. He's taking a little bit more damage. Got still 4. We killed one of them. Now in this dungeon, you're gonna run into bombs, which I'm not sure if you've run into at this point in the game yet. I'm just having a hard time recalling if it's something you'll have experienced yet. But those are enemies that you can kind of just ignore if you really want. That explosion is coming from the bomb, and when the explosion goes off, it'll kill itself. And yeah, that way you don't even really need to kill them. You don't need to focus them. Oh yeah, Copperbell mines had bombs. We were focusing them down. Yeah, that's something that's totally up to the group, whether you want to focus them down or you just want to move out of their explosion when they suicide. It's totally up to you whether what you want to do. So as you can see, tank wants to totally skip all that trash. Now, there's actually, between level 20 and 30, there's going to be a hunting log for this dungeon. I actually don't have it unlocked right now, so I'm going to have to do this dungeon again. But if you don't go that way and kill the enemies in that direction, I'm pretty sure you have to run this dungeon twice in order to complete your hunting log for it. So that can be another way to sort of ask your party to go out of their way to kill enemies. Like, hey, I need a few extra enemies for my hunting log. Do you mind if we go over that way? Most groups will be pretty receptive to it, as long as, you're stating, I just want to, that's the reason why I want those things, so I don't have to do this dungeon over and over and over again just to get something I should be able to do in a single run. There's also a treasure chest back up that way. There's a stairwell. There's enemies up that stairwell. So, yeah, it's just a matter of asking. So we're going to just go straight to the first boss. We're actually not too far from the first boss as it is. I believe there might also be a treasure chest in one of these side rooms. I know there is in the hard mode version, which, by the way, if you want to do Halatali hard mode, you need to do Halatali normal in order to unlock it. So that's another good reason, even though this is an optional dungeon, why you'll really, really want to do it. And if I'm not DPSing as much as, you kind of expect, it's just because I'm kind of gauging when he's got 3 enemies on him. I usually only have maybe a second between casts. It might be enough to cast like an arrow or something, but that's about it. I'm gonna quickly throw out some dots and some stones here, and then I'm gonna He just... Oh, no, he leveled. I was like, did he just heal? Okay, he's level 27. That's what level he is. Yeah, these side rooms, nah, it doesn't look like on normal they're here at all. Not a big deal. It doesn't matter at all. I just wanted to check and make sure. It's after doing so many dungeons, whether it be the hard modes or the normal modes, sometimes they start mixing up details, which ones, you know, the details actually matter for. Yeah, he's actually just going to regen up, so I don't need to heal him. Can actually start this fight with Cleric stance up. He's probably going to mark the Doctore after this trash pull already at the first boss. This is a pretty quick dungeon, thankfully, and I'm getting a lot of experience from it. Luckily, as a healer, I have the ability to wear the friendship circlet and get a lot of bonus XP. Speaking of which, I'm going to actually eat some food, get a little bit more bonus experience points. And other than that, I threw a stone out, I threw an arrow out. I probably should have just arrowed all 3 enemies just to help speed things up a little bit, but whatever, it's not too big a deal. I'm going to throw one more heal in his direction, and then I'm going to throw out an arrow there, back, cure, we're good. Get a little bit of extra damage out. And that's something you really got to start practicing in the low levels where damage is not usually as spiky. So that way you can start getting used to doing it in level 50 dungeons. So here we're coming to the first boss of Halatali. Very, very easy boss, although some groups have varying strategies for completing this boss. As you can see, it's just a big fire elemental, nothing too fancy. He literally just spam casts fire on the tank, does nothing else other than that. So this is actually a boss where you have a lot of time to help DPS, especially if you happen to be coming into this dungeon as a scholar. I don't think I can learn regen before. No, regen's not in the level range for this. I learned stone 2 in a couple of levels. That'll be useful. Is somebody using poison potions on this thing? Damn, that's impressive. I don't think I've ever seen anybody use a poison potion at this level. So the one thing that this boss does is he summons these demantises, which are basically like little ads that come out and they start floating towards the center of the room. If they reach the center of the room, they do a little explosion. It actually doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but there's a big one is eventually going to spawn. As you can see, a Noxious back there. If that one reaches the center, it'll do like 200 something damage. So I like to avoid that. As you can see, there's so little healing that needs to be done in this dungeon. I actually go out of my way to try and kill this thing. I just slow it, throw an arrow on it, and bam, that's all I really need to do. The arrow should take care of it the rest of the way. If it doesn't, I'll throw a quick attack at it. The other DPS are paying attention to it as well, so I'm not really worried at all. Yeah, it'll die. It would have died to the dot, but I don't even think that guy knew that I was doing it. You know, we didn't really communicate at all since coming into this dungeon. It's one of those times where everyone just kind of knows what to do. You don't need to worry too much about anything. I was just running around. There's 3 different locations that those enemies can start coming from. So I like to kind of just check them all out before I go back to DPSing. And that's very good. Now that's how you know that the ads are spawning. Gates open on the side and the fire lights up. I'm actually just gonna DPS a little bit more here. Go back. Give him a couple of cures. He's actually physicking himself, which is, you know, even though it's a really, really low potency cure, it is very, very effective. To be honest, we don't even need to kill these enemies. We can just kill the boss at this point. I'm going to go out of my way to kill them. Especially now that I know that the tank can physic himself and he is doing it. It can actually really help my the damage that I can do in this dungeon. I wouldn't rely on him to do that because, you know, like I said, it's not a very potent heal, but it does help to know that he is going out of his way to do that little extra thing. I would prefer a Stone Skin because Stone Skin's really really good to self-cast at these lower levels if you're not using the MP. But hey, I'm not going to complain about any sort of mitigation he's going out of his way to do. Even using the Limit Break to help kill the boss a little bit quicker. Would have preferred the Rogue to use it, but hey, Limit Break is a Limit Break. Helps kill it faster. That's all I'm going to say. And I gained a level, and something dropped for me. Hopefully the Summoner doesn't decide to take it. Thank you, no. Level 30 Summoner decided, hey, I actually don't need that. Alright, so we got a piece of loot. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Nice. I think it's level 20. Piece of loot. I can use. I'm in the right level range. It's perfect. Yeah, level 20. I also know that I had, like, gloves and stuff waiting for me. Level 21. I think, yeah, item level 17. This is item level 21. It's just a little bit better. It doesn't have as many off stats, but still a good piece of gear. Alright, so the second part of the dungeon has a bit of a, I don't want to really call it a puzzle. you have to see that chain winch over there on the right. There's like 5 or 6 of those. I think there's 5. And in order to unlock the door to the next boss, you need to pull all 5 of them. Whenever you pull them, you'll either get a bomb that explodes after a couple of seconds, 3 lightning sprites that you need to kill, or it'll drop a treasure chest. So let's see what our luck is. I'll let him do it. You usually want to let the tank do it in case it's the 3 lightning elementals. And it was just 3 potions inside the treasure chest. Nothing major. So he's just marked. I really like that he's going out of his way to mark them. I always appreciate tanks that go out of their way to do that. He's even using defensive cooldowns at the start so I can DPS a little bit more. So I'm enjoying this tank a lot. The DPS are doing a good job. So this is going to be, I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty quick dungeon overall, which I don't mind because I'm trying to do a lot of recording today, so that's always good for me. Where is Asuna on my bards? All the way over there. I'm going to get rid of that poison he has on him. Oh, whoops. That would be the auto attack button, not the not the Asuna button. I'm not too worried. I always forget how to use the controller every time. And see, that was a mistake I wouldn't have been making if I had just taken auto attack off my bar like I talked about in part 11. If only I had done it. Alright, let's see which one we got. Lightning sprites, triple lightning sprites. I'm just gonna do my usual, do a triple arrow on each of them. These actually do a lot of damage at this point because he can't, you know, can't really do much to mitigate all this magic damage, so the little arrows, the couple of arrows that it does just, you know, helps at the start of the fight. Some of it also looks like they're multi-dotting, which, you know, they don't have Bane at this level, so they have to do manually, but it is a lot of damage to help do that. It means I have to do a little bit more healing, but it does help overall kill the enemies faster. So, very appreciative of that. So he's out of MP, he's probably going to do a couple of Riot Blades. Not sure. Just gonna, yeah, there's Riot. I saw a Riot Blade in there. You don't just jump up 28 MP on Paladin. Nope, yeah, Riot Blades. He's doing the other way that I spoke about, where you can just literally spam Flash and then Riot Blade to get it all back for the next pull. There's a lot of different viable ways to go about tanking in the low levels. The method I spoke about, the double flash into your main combo, is really more of something that you want to get used to for max level stuff, because just spamming flash, you're not really outputting a lot of damage. And I'd rather just do the minimum required flashes and then go out of my way to help the DPS of the group, you know, and to help hold aggro on the individual targets. Enjoying this group. There's another treasure chest on the side over here that I'm going to be going out of my way to get. Not sure if my team is going to be going out of their way to get it, so I want it. I'm going to go out of my way to get it. That's pretty much what it is. If there's something that's really out of your way, either going to make it known to your group, or you got to do it yourself. I don't recommend just pulling enemies by yourself because you're impatient or your team's refusing to do it. You know, I'm the kind of person who doesn't like to stir the pot when it comes to, you know, any tension in dungeons for whatever reason. There's just no use. Life is short. I ain't got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time to worry about everyone in my dungeon, you know, doing everything. Did we get the dungeon done? Good, done, perfect, great. That is all I needed to know. That we were able to do that dungeon and complete it. Not about to start going to all my party members being like, hey man, you know, if you did that like half a second earlier, you could output the most DPS. Like, I don't. I'll give you those kind of tips in this series because, you know, those kind of things help. But in a low level dungeon, I'm not going to go out of my way to, you know, unless it's hindering the group, you know. If somebody is like if we have a tank who's literally only doing Riot Blade on single targets at max MP, I'll be like, hey, just so you know, because, you know, I'm pulling aggro off of you, that if you do this, it'll help you hold aggro a little bit better. Like, that's the extent of how it's gonna go. Is it weird that I'm getting deja vu doing this dungeon right now? Is that weird? Like, I feel like I've said this exact same thing while doing this exact same dungeon. That's weird. That is weird, right? Like, I'm not alone in that. That is weird. So while he's not taking too much damage, I'm gonna run down here and grab this treasure coffer, get him to full HP. He's actually hitting the other thing. There's an axe. Don't I have an axe? Haven't I already won an axe? I'm just going to greed on the axe. I'll level a Marauder at some point for my tank. I think they were surprised that I ran all the way down there already. Because they went to go down there and they're like, oh, he already grabbed it. Okay, cool. Let's just do it. trying to help speed up the dungeon by making sure my whole team doesn't have to wait for one person to run down there and grab that. So I do it while we're doing other things, and I'm not needed anywhere else. So it's a neat little way to help speed up dungeons. You know, God, I did it again. I did the auto attack. Alright, he's going to pull. I'm going to wait for him to get a flash off before I do my first heal. I'm going to move towards him. Yeah. He opened with something other than flash for that instance. I think I saw him use provoke and shield lob, so I needed to make sure that I was standing next to him because I knew that heal was going to pull aggro from the other enemies. That way, again, that's one of the things I went over with as a healer in the other dungeon. You don't want your tank trying to chase you around. So if you pull aggro, I know it can suck, the idea of just sitting there and getting beat on by a bunch of enemies. And, you know, there are times where that will get you killed and maybe running would have saved you. But at least your tank can do something about it, especially because I saw he didn't have provoke and he can't provoke all the enemies at the same time. There's just a lot of little things you learn to watch out for as a healer. Just little tendencies, the way your tank plays in the individual dungeons. You can learn a lot about your tank in the first few pulls of a dungeon and what you're able to do and the things that make sense and the things that you may do with one tank that you can't do with another one. It's a lot of little things. Let's see what we get. And we got a bomb. These things just instantly explode. There's no point in even trying to piss them off or stun it or anything. They'll just... Oh, that hurt. That hurt. Don't worry, I got you back, man. I'm surprised that didn't kill him. I'm honestly surprised that did not kill that person. I don't think I've ever seen anyone survive those bomb blasts. Maybe they're not as strong as I remember them being. Damn. Oh, well, I messed up. I was trying to do my whole, you know, thing. And I targeted the wrong one. So let's just throw a quick few panic cures out. He's taken this pull. I've learned doing this dungeon again is actually a lot of damage. The Python plus the double mantises. As you can see, I took the time just to Asuna that poison. He lost almost all his health. That's not his fault. That's literally just 3 enemies that all have, I guess, attack resets where they'll auto attack and they'll follow immediately with a single target hit. It's a lot of damage. And when you have 3 enemies doing that on you, you know, what should have just been a couple of auto attacks turned into 3 auto attacks, 3 abilities, all in a matter of 2 seconds, and I'm busy trying to throw up arrow and get rid of a poison while he's doing that. So this should be the last chain winch right here. Yep, okay. And then this door on our left should just open, unless we have to kill the enemies. Okay, well, we don't have to kill the enemies, but we will. They'll follow us to the ends of the earth if we don't, so we might as well, right? Throw a quick arrow up on all of them. Out of cleric stance. He didn't take a lot of damage there. I didn't even see him use any defenses. He just didn't take a lot of damage. Nice, nice, and nice. See, one thing that's great about flash at low levels for paladins is that at this point it blinds enemies, which can make their attacks, you know, miss more often, and it definitely reduces the overall damage of the group. Yeah, see the summoner multi-dotting. That's the only downside to summoners multi-dotting, is if your tank doesn't notice it necessarily, you're gonna pull aggro. But these are enemies, they're not gonna, it's not gonna get the summoner killed. It's not the end of the world, you know. It doesn't matter that they pulled aggro on 2 lightning sprites. They lost like 150 health. That's 1 cure. That's all it is. It's really, really hard to run out of MP at this level. Like really, really hard. You have to basically spam Medica in order to run out of MP. Now, this is the second boss of the dungeon, Thunderclap Givre. Nothing too fancy. This is another one where you kind of have a lot of time to DPS, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Tanks, he already knows this. You kind of just want to fight him over here on the ramp, because when he falls to, like, I think 66% and 33%, he's going to go back to the middle of the room, and he's going to basically turn all the water on the ground to lightning. Yeah, here it is. Now he becomes invulnerable, we can't damage him, and he's gonna summon a bunch of lightning sprites. Again, as a healer, I don't really need to do that much healing at this part. I'll keep my eyes on everything, but I'm just gonna try and help kill these sprites as quick as possible. They do a little bit of damage if they're left unchecked, but it's not so much that I need to be concerned. I could throw out maybe like 1 Medica if everybody was tanking a different one, but that's not even the case here. So we're just gonna kill them all. The boss is gonna come back. You have to do this twice, where you have to kill a group of sprites, and then it's just a normal fight. Yep, see, now he comes back, and we keep DPSing him until about 33%, and then life goes on. I'm gonna throw a quick cure his way, just because he's missing a little bit of health. I just want to throw him a quick cure, and we just go back to beating on the boss. Everybody's doing pretty good damage. The tank isn't taking much damage, so it's a nice, simple dungeon boss. Should be going back to the center, yep. And then we just have to kill another set of sprites, and then we're good to finish the boss up. So, yeah, that's the second boss of Halatali hard mode. The last boss is it's actually pretty similar to this. He goes invulnerable a lot, and you just need to kill elementals and stuff. The whole dungeon is pretty elemental focused, I guess you could say. You know, there's the first boss was an elemental, the second boss summons a bunch of lightning elementals, and the last boss is going to summon a bunch of fire elementals. That's just the way it's going to go. I like this boss because they drop lightning shards, and the first boss, the enemies drop fire shards, so I'm always okay with that because that means that I can hopefully sell these. I think these will sell for like 60 gil each, lightning shards, on this server, on Gilgamesh. Not 100% sure on that, but they definitely sell for a decent amount. Not enough to the point where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna farm this dungeon to get more, lightning shards, to get more shards overall. But hey, every little bit helps. Another limit break, nice. We'll probably get our tier 1 limit break bar back before the last boss, so there's a chance we'll have a tier 2. I don't even need to heal him. Yeah, he's at 200 health. He'll regenerate it all. Don't worry. I'm not concerned. Not concerned at all. Look, I'm already halfway to level 22. Oh, okay. Well, that's a Lancer piece of gear. I actually don't even know if I want to roll on that, to be honest. That's Lancer gear. That's not really tank gear. I could use it when I'm solo leveling, but I should have just rolled on it. Nobody else rolled on it. That's the thing, you know. You don't really know if anybody else has the same interest in it or not, so it doesn't hurt to ask your group, hey, do you mind if I get that? Because, you know, I'm going to use it to level my whatever, you know. Oh, let's be real here. If I'm leveling my tank in the open world, I'm using the friggin' hairpin anyway for the bonus experience, my friendship circlet, so I didn't need that at all. I was never going to use that thing. Got some new gloves. So again, we got new gloves, we got new waist piece. I don't usually get this lucky with dungeon drops, by the way. So this is not a normal occurrence for me to get all these dungeon drops, so don't expect it to happen to you either. Oh, the tank needs to go AFK. This gas bomb's gonna aggro, like we can't avoid it. Oh well. Let's just kill it. What does it matter? I've done this dungeon with just me and a DPS before. Like, I've done all the way through to the first boss with just... And look at that. The summoner very quickly decided to switch to their tanking pet, and now we're good to go. It's like they were ready to go. They were like, oh, we don't need to wait for this guy. We got this. And now he's switching back because the guy said he'd only be gone a minute. So we probably don't need to keep the Titan Eggy out. They're gonna switch back to Garuda. It's nice when you have a summoner at this level as opposed to an Arcanist, just because the pets are a little bit stronger at this point. I'm pretty sure they retain their powered up abilities. Yeah, pretty sure. All right. Should be back any second now, 1 minute. I'm sorry if my voice keeps getting muffled. My beard has grown to the point where it makes my face itch a lot. I think I gotta get rid of that. I think I should just shave my beard out in the snow. That way, I don't know, the snow covers it all back up, and then it'll melt, and it'll still be there, but whatever. I don't know what it is. Just, I can't do that dance on my ult. No fair, I want to do it. Oh, is that, No, that's not what I think it is it? No, it's not. Okay. I thought that was, for a second, I thought that was, Dreadworm, because I saw the little wings. I never noticed that gear had the design of the wings on it. But that is, I think, just augmented summoner gear. If I'm not mistaken, that's augmented summoner gear. Let's find out. Yes, augmented iron. No, well, yeah, augmented evoker's doublet. Yeah, it looks like an evoker's doublet, but it's died. Pretty well geared summoner. Platinum Circlet of Casting. Oh, spell speed. It feels so bad. I guess it is guaranteed. As much as spell speed's not so great for summoners, it was probably the best meld that he could put in that slot. It's alright. When you're waiting AFK for dungeons, the name of this video is now waiting AFK for your tanks and dungeons. If a DPS goes AFK, honestly, even with the tank AFK, we could keep going. If they wanted to stay on Titan Eggy, we could totally just keep going. If that guy gets found, it's gonna be pretty funny. I'm pretty sure stealth actually works on trash mobs in these lower level dungeons. Okay, take us back. Pretty sure it does work. It would be funny if it didn't. I think he has sneak attack at this level too. Sneak attack's really good if you can start the fight stealth. Alright. Another treasure coffer. I kind of want to ask my group to go get it. Although that treasure coffer is actually a trap. It'll summon an enemy when you go over to open it. What I don't remember is if it actually has anything good in it or if it's just potions or anything. It doesn't really matter to me. Gotten pretty good EXP from this dungeon so far, so it doesn't really matter. I still need to do my roulette for the day also. I'm not going to make you guys suffer through watching me heal another low-level dungeon just for the sake of putting in my roulette for the day, but it's something I definitely got to do. It's Monday, too. Resets tomorrow, and I have, like, none of my challenge logs done. Yeah, well, I guess we're just going to finish the dungeon. No big deal. I don't really mind all too much. Like I said, I don't even have the hunting logs actually unlocked for this place, so I have to do it again anyway. And I'll probably have to do it on all my classes, because the hunting log for this dungeon, I'm pretty sure, is on all the classes. So I guess, yeah, this will be the last boss, and then we'll do the video for Ifrit. So this boss is, just like the other ones, pretty simple. He'll eventually surround himself in fire, and he'll start summoning those Damascus things from the first fight. If they reach him, they explode and do party-wide damage. And then the big ones, same. If they reach him, they do a bunch of party-wide damage instead of just a little. He'll also summon a bunch of fire elementals right about here. And you just need to have somebody killing them when they spawn. They don't even need to be tanked. You just need somebody killing them when they spawn. Later on in the fight, he'll just buff his attacks, and then he'll keep summoning all those Damascus things and whatever. And you can just burn him through that if you want. I think that's probably what we'll do. It's up to my group, though. I'm ready to... I guess he had to go AFK again. He didn't say he had to go AFK, but I guess he did. It's okay. We can wait. I had really quick queues, so I don't mind. I'm a healer. I get minute-long queues. It's like minute rice, but it's like minute queues. My face won't stop itching. I don't know what it is. The hair, man. It's just... Beards are great and annoying at the same time. Until you get used to them. See? They're dancing with me. They're dancing with me. This is how I dance because... I mean, I could type /dance, but I don't have all the cool dances yet. I don't have the Manderville. Oh, hey, there he is. I don't have the Manderville, so that's really the most important one. Alright, here we go. Last boss of Halatali. Oh, yeah. Here comes some intense shit right here. Alright, and there he goes. So now I'm going to go kill these fire sprites. I should actually probably kill the Demant... They're called Demantises here. Or they may have been called that before and I just wasn't paying attention. But, yeah, Demantis. Demantis, yo. And then it should spawn... something else in a second here. It should spawn a, Oh, no, I guess he doesn't spawn the... Oh, hey, he's spawning more of them. That's always fun. No, he's going to reach that one. No! It doesn't even do that much damage. Honestly, you could... less experienced healers may not be able to handle all the extra healing that comes from all the Noxiouses and Demantises reaching the boss. But if you have some experience, it's not so bad. I'm actually going to throw him a quick heal this time. And this time I'm going to deal with the Demantises, I think. Alright, he's got those Demantises. I'll get these Demantises, because they're a little closer. It's alright, Garuda's got my back. I wonder how much HP these things have. I wonder if I could kill them with a single arrow. I don't think I could. Okay, well that's pretty close. That's close enough to the point where I'm confident to say I don't need to cast any other spells on it. Then we have the Noxiouses. That's the good thing about being either like a Thaumaturge or a Conjurer at this point. Oh, we still need to kill the other fire sprites. Garuda's just been soloing the fire sprites in the back of the room. And unfortunately, he doesn't stop being Mr. Fiery Angry Guy until you kill all of the fire sprites that he summons. He should be going Super Saiyan mode in a second here, where he just buffs himself up with fire. And instead of summoning that pool around him and making himself invincible, he just hits a little bit harder and keeps summoning the enemies. But you can honestly, he has very, very little health, as you can see. You can just ignore all of that stuff right now. They're not going to, it looks like. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Might reach it. Alright. I'll heal you. I'll heal you. Don't worry. I got your back. I am going to keep DPSing the boss, however. I could heal through any of the explosions that reach him, so I'm not concerned at all. I just want to help kill the boss as quick as possible. Here comes a limit break. Do it. Oh, dude, the LB. The Braver. Oh, yeah. That's what I like. That's what I like. And bam, we're done with Halatali normal. All ready to go for Halatali hard mode eventually. Hey, that was a swift first-time completion. Hey, a thaumaturge weapon. I'm gonna agree on that. Yeah, got a thaumaturge weapon. Won pretty much all the loot that... Oh, I couldn't give anyone a commendation. I wanted to give them a commendation. I need challenge logs for that. Should have done that first. Hey, I got a commendation myself. That's not so bad, right? So I got plenty of loot out of that. I'm gonna have to do it again, but that's not too big a deal. Don't worry, I won't make you see that again. So the next video, we're gonna do Ifrit normal, and that's gonna be a 4-man fight against the Primal. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching the series, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.